Hello everyone, welcome to my YouTube channel. My name is Anne Marie, and today I'm going to discuss the 10 Things I Love About You, Love Letters to a Serial Killer by Tasha Coryell. This is a no spoilers book review, so don't worry about me revealing any plot twists or ruining any surprise endings. The whole point of this is to simply give you an inside peek into the book. So here we go. The first thing I love about this book is its title, because it makes you stop and think, wait, what? This can't possibly be about someone who sends love letters to a serial killer, right? Well, to clarify, the first two parts of the book are about a woman named Hannah Wilson who sends love letters to an accused serial killer while he awaits trial. The third part of the book is about what occurs after he is acquitted. This is not a spoiler because this is disclosed on the book jacket. This leads directly to the second thing I love, which is the book's premise. This is how it reads on the book jacket. An aimless young woman starts writing to an accused serial killer while he awaits trial, and then, once he's acquitted, decides to move in with him and take the investigation into her own hands. This is the book's logline, or one-sentence pitch, and in my opinion, it's brilliant. Why? Because as soon as I read that logline, I had to read this book. If you are an aspiring author, take note, because that is the effect you want to have on agents and/or editors who look at your work. And once you're published, that is the effect you want to have on potential readers. A compelling logline sells the story. The third thing I love about Love Letters to a Serial Killer is the book's dedication. Author Tasha Coryell dedicated it to anyone who has ever felt unappreciated. This dedication ties directly to the story because part of the reason why Hannah, the protagonist, makes poor decisions throughout the book is that she feels unappreciated. She feels this way at work, by her boyfriend, by her parents, her best friend. Everywhere she goes, she feels unappreciated. So she is not in a good place in her life. How does she end up sending love letters to a serial killer? It starts with the forum, which is number 4 on my list. When Hannah first joins the true crime forum, its mission is to find Anna Lee, who at that point is missing. Hannah dedicates much of her time to making social media graphics that raise awareness about this missing woman. Soon thereafter, a total of 4 women are found murdered, and the users on the forum, including Hannah, take it upon themselves to investigate. For the first time in a long time, she feels important. Once a suspect named William Thompson is taken into custody, activity on the forum dies down, and Hannah misses that feeling of finally being appreciated. Although she desperately tries to distract herself with other activities, nothing quite matches the thrill she got from the interaction on the forum. So she begins writing William Thompson, the suspected serial killer. The fifth thing I love about this book are the letters exchanged between Hannah and William. At first, her letters serve as an outlet for her frustration. She writes things like, "Your name was trending for hours after your arrest, and it sickened me. I hope everyone remembers the names of your victims as much as they remember you. If there is any karma in this world, you will suffer the way that you've made others suffer." What she isn't expecting is for him to write back. But that's what happens. After acknowledging her feelings from the letter she sent to him, William then continues almost as if the two of them are pen pals. He asks about her hobbies, her passions, likes and dislikes, to which she responds, "Asking about other people's hobbies is something that doesn't even work on a dating app. Everyone always lies and says that they like to hike. Hiking is fine, I guess. What I really like, though, is sitting in front of the television and watching too many episodes of a TV show in a row. or that feeling when you eat a really good meal. I like going to bars, drinking too much, and sleeping in too late. I'm not supposed to admit these things, but I can admit them to you because even the worst of my habits are nothing compared to yours. Hannah bares her soul to William because she doesn't think confiding in an accused serial killer is going to have any consequences. Nothing is going to come from her letters to him. Likewise, he writes back disclosing his secrets to her. At first, Hannah convinces herself she's communicating with William because she wants justice for his victims. So she's going to learn as much as she can about him and his motivations. But their interaction slowly becomes something more. And by the end of chapter 15, Hannah leaves Minnesota and drives to Georgia to attend William's trial. This concludes part 1 of the book. The sixth thing I love about Love Letters to a Serial Killer is Dottie, who we meet at the beginning of part 2. Dottie is from the suburbs of Nashville. She had seen William's picture on the evening news and was immediately smitten. She'd since separated from her husband and was at risk of losing custody of her 2 kids because of all the time she spent fixated on William Thompson, the man accused of murdering 4 women. Unfortunately for Dottie, or fortunately, depending on how you look at it, William is unavailable at the moment because Hannah has already agreed to be his girlfriend. The 7th thing I love is Hannah's reaction when William enters the courtroom for the first time. This is how Hannah describes it in chapter 17. The previous year, I had attended a friend's wedding and found myself getting misty-eyed when she rounded the corner and entered the courtyard where the ceremony was taking place. It wasn't that she looked so beautiful, though she did, but rather the enormity of emotion that brought tears to my eyes. It didn't matter that I didn't really know or trust her fiancé. All that mattered was the idea of love. William's entrance was like that, a bride entering their own wedding. I hope that my carefully applied eyeliner didn't smear as tears welled up in my eyes. Finally, my boyfriend and I in the same space together. The moment that I'd been waiting for, that pulsed within me as I drove across the country and that I lay awake fantasizing about the night before. The 8th thing I love about Love Letters to a Serial Killer is the way chapter 17 concludes. There he was, my boyfriend, my love, the man who may or may not have been guilty of serial murder. For better or for worse, I was there with him. For his sake and mine, I was going to uncover the truth. The psychology here is complicated. We get the sense that even though Hannah is infatuated with William, her motivation for pursuing him is that she wants to know the truth. Is he or is he not a serial killer? The problem is, if he is a serial killer and isn't convicted, then learning the truth might cost her her life. And if he's not a serial killer, well, what happens then? Once he's released from prison, are the 2 of them going to live happily ever after? The 9th thing on my list is from a conversation that Hannah has with William's brother Bentley. This occurs in chapter 29 when he asks her flat out, "What is it that you want out of this? Best case scenario, let's say that William is innocent. Either he's found guilty and spends the rest of his life in jail as an innocent man, or he's acquitted. And then what? Are you going to settle down? Get married? Have children? Is that what you want from my brother? And what if he's guilty? Do you want to be with a man who's killed 4 women?" I think at this point in the book, most readers are wondering the same thing. How is this relationship going to work? Hannah doesn't know how to respond to Bentley because she doesn't yet know what the verdict is going to be. Of course, we already know William is going to be acquitted, and then Hannah is going to move in with him and take the investigation into her own hands. Finally, the 10th thing I love about this book is that when it comes to emotionally unstable, dysfunctional, neurotic protagonists, Hannah Wilson is in a league of her own. Love Letters to a Serial Killer is written in the first person from Hannah's point of view, so as readers, we're inside the mind of someone who is completely irrational. That being said, the story is so engrossing, I couldn't stop reading it. When it was all over and I had finished the last few extremely bizarre chapters, I closed the book and thought, what did I just read? In conclusion, this dark and twisted train wreck of a story is wildly entertaining. And if you like crazy and deranged protagonists, then this is the book for you because author Tasha Coryell nailed it. If you've read the book and would like to add to my list of things to love, feel free to do so in the comments. Until next time, take care, be well, and happy reading.